Hey everyone! Thank you for taking the time to join in with Uncommon Women Podcast, a dope podcast to bring light to reality from real life people sharing real life stories with a host of women having real life talk, the good and the bad, with no judgment. Uncommon Women's Loyalty is here to support those that need a safe space to speak their truth and rawness to the world. Tune in, relax, take notes, and let's vibe. Here are your hosts, Uncommon Women.
Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to Uncommon Women. I'm Shanira.
And I am Tyra, also known as the Gold Guru.
Yeah, so today we have an amazing speaker that's going to hit the platform in just a moment. She's a business owner. Her name is Naundra, a mother of 4, as well as a grandmother. Born and raised in Detroit, she also went to Michigan State, currently residing in North Carolina. And today she's going to speak on her business that she started called Organik Beauty, which I'm super excited. But before we get into the details of that, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you enjoy doing for fun?
Sure. Again, my name is Naundra. My nickname is Nani. I am the middle child of 3 children in my family. Have an older brother and a younger sister. Born and raised in Detroit, as you stated. During the day, I have a corporate job still as I'm doing my business, Organik Beauty. So I am a paralegal by profession. Yes, I'm very good at researching, which is one of the tools that helped me to form Organik Beauty. I actually relocated from Detroit to Charlotte, North Carolina in 2007. Been here, love it, and never to look back. Although I do miss going home. And I mean, all of my family is at home, but I go home as often as I possibly can. 2 daughters, 2 sons as my family, and I have 1 granddaughter and a host of cousins, other relatives.
Okay. So besides you working and being a mom and being a grandmom, what do you like doing on your free time? Do you have free time?
When I have free time, yes. I belong to a run club here in Charlotte called Black Girls Run. It was actually when I moved here, I just saw a lot of people outside running, and I never, knew how to run. That was always a punishment, right? Go run a lap, come back. And so I joined the organization, and it actually had like a walk before you run program. You would start off in intervals walking, and then you would build up to actually running 3 miles, which is, a 5K. And then they would sign you up for your first 5K race.
Oh, wow.
And, so it was a wonderful program. And I started that in 2014. I've run half marathons, which is 13 miles. Wow. And then I ran 1 full marathon, which was 26.2 miles. I did that.
Wow.
I did that in February 26, 2022. Never forget the date.
How long did it take you to run that?
Just 5.5 hours.
How do you have the push to keep going? Because I just started running like 2 days ago, and I promise you, there has to be another way.
So the funny thing about our bodies is, when you get to that point to where you're like, I gotta stop, I gotta rest. Yeah. No, so that's what the walk before you run program teaches you. To push through that uncomfortable zone. It's like within that first 10 minutes is when your heart rate is getting up. But after you keep going, after that 10 minutes, you'll see you get into emotion. You get into like this mode, and you can keep going. But you just have to, you add a little more. And, you slowing your heart rate by inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. That slows your heart rate down. You keep going. Wow. But it's training. It's a lot of training.
What do you do about the side cramps?
I never had those. Are you eating? Is it something? Never had the side. I've heard of people saying that their lower back hurts from running. Mm-hmm. I've never had side cramps. I used to cramp up in my legs and toes and feet really, really bad, but I found out it was because I didn't have enough salt because I sweat a lot. So I started to actually doing like pink Himalayan salt in my water, in my food, and my cramps never came back again. So I only had like
salt helps with that. That's good to know.
Mm-hmm. That's good to. Yeah, I'm a very sweaty person, so that makes sense.
Too.
Makes sense.
But my son's legs cramp up a lot with running track, and they never said. They just was like, "Well, he's not stretching enough."
Nope. Wow. It's salt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And what it is a lot of people in those positions, they don't really know what's going on. So I think that is good that you know how to actually take care of your body and naturally.
Yeah, it was a lot of trial and error. I even had doctors that, lots of Black Girls Run in Charlotte has about 8,000 members. And there are some
Wow.
doctors, and they were like, oh, you're not hydrated enough. I said,
Mm-hmm.
I drink a gallon of water.
Right.
Oh, try mustard packets. And so I would do a mustard pack. It wouldn't help. It was, for me, it was salt. So I found this recipe where you get a mason jar. You fill it up like a quarter of a way with pink Himalayan salt and all the rest with water. Let it sit overnight. And so then the water, you just take a tablespoon of it and put it in your 8 ounces of water. And that's it. And that's all I had to do.
Wow.
And that's all I had to do.
Good
But it
time.
was fun. It was fun. It's, when you finish, out on the course, it was pretty tough. Because we first started training in 2019, and then COVID hit in 2020, and the governor canceled our race because no one could gather, no crowds could gather.
Right.
3,000, yeah. And so I had already picked the course out, Wilmington, North Carolina. You run along the Atlantic Ocean. It's totally flat. They were like, yeah, okay. I was like, that's good. So then we trained, we ran all the way up to 23 miles. And then that's when the governor canceled it. So we were bummed out. We signed, they let us transfer our registration to the next year, 2021. And 2021, they moved it to the summer. They moved it to like September. And so that means we would have to train throughout the heat in the summer. I can't do heat because I sweat too much. And so we postponed it again, but all the while we're steady training because you don't want to lose that, your muscles.
Momentum.
You have muscle
Right.
memory. They'll remember you did make it 23 miles. And so then 2022, they moved it to February and we did it, but they changed it to a Boston Marathon qualifier, which means those people you have to, I think, finish the Boston Marathon in under 3 hours. So that means by the time I was halfway, they were done. They were high-fiving me. Keep it up. Keep it up. I'm like, what? So it was lonely out there on that course. It was long because you kind of spot somebody in front of you. You'll say, I'm gonna keep up with that person. I'm gonna keep up with that person.
Yeah.
You're the only one out there. You don't see anybody in front of you, anybody behind you. It's lonely. It was hard. I was like, this is the dumbest thing I could have ever did.
Yeah.
You cussing yourself out the whole while. Like, you did all this for a medal? You did all this for what? But then you're finished and you're like, I did it. Yeah.
What takes place after you're done? Like, what do you want to eat? Do you want, like, what do you do?
Oh my gosh. So they have like all these things for you to give away. All these giveaways, drinks and race stuff to get tons of pictures. There's dancing, music, food. Yeah. That's it. You kind of just celebrate, take pictures. That's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's a celebration of completing too. I guess that's a reward in itself,
Yes, it is. They call it the 1%ers. You're a 1%er because only 1% of the population has ever done a marathon. So they're part of the 1%ers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I ain't 1% of that.
I'm 29.
I am also a foodie. So I love trying new restaurants. I just love dining. I love going out to eat. I love wine pairings. I have friends that are writers and bloggers and content creator for different restaurants and things like that. I love it. I started a group, Dining Around the Crown. I just haven't had the time to actually start it, because people were like, you should start a foodies group. I was like, you're right, because I miss it and I want to start one. But that's like event planning. I don't think I'm
right.
I'm not good at event planning. I'm good at attending, but I'm not good at event. So I'm gonna start it because I love to just my one friend, she took me out as she was interviewing a chef. They gave us a 5-course tasting. It's just, you feel so special when the chef's coming out with this plate and this is this and this is that. Oh, enjoy. And then comes back with another one. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is how you're really supposed to taste food and dine. And then wine pairings. Oh yeah, this pairs well with this one. So I love that experience. I just have to get it started. Probably next year. I can't do it this year.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good experience, especially with you enjoying, different cultures and trying different foods and things like that. And then giving your intake on it and doing the reviews because people love reviews. So
Yeah. And that's my way of kind of being social, because I feel like, to grow your business, you need to meet people, you need to get out there, meet other business owners. And so I have to kind of stay social.
Networking.
Networking. Yeah. Yep.
Networking is a big piece. So you said you're the middle child of 3, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
How was your life growing up in Detroit?
Well, growing up, I thought it was great. You don't realize that you were a poor Black child till you get to college and the professor tells you that. You're like, I thought I was living good. What do you mean? Right. So I had an older brother who absolutely loved me. He's 6 years older than me. So he wanted a sister. So he was excited to have this baby sister. And so I just remember us being inseparable. My mom would say, he would say, hurry up, do her hair so she can go with me. So I remember hanging out with him all the time. I remember we were walking to a corner store. We lived on the east side of Detroit. So for y'all who don't know, that's the bad side. And so on the east side of Detroit, and we were walking to the corner store, and these boys stole our baseball caps. We had like Detroit Tiger baseball caps. They stole our baseball caps, and I think my brother's bike. So my brother came home. So if I was probably about 3, he had to probably be about 9. And so we came home, and my daddy, he ain't play. My daddy was
about that life.
He was about that life.
He has to be. He has to be living
right.
We going up to that corner store and look around the corner. Them boys just so happen to stay around the corner. My brother, this little, the boys was teenagers, right? And so he was like, go up on that porch and get them hats. And my brother did it. I don't know what my daddy was doing in the background, but my brother went up there, he got them hats, and we came on back home. That was one of my earliest memories. I have so many. And then as we got older, my brother, when he started dating girls, he's taking me all over his little girlfriend's house. I got to sit in the living room while they taking out somewhere or something. But he took me, I saw him kissing girls and stuff. I mean, everywhere. My mom and dad divorced when I was like 12. And oh my goodness, we moved. The girls went with my mother, and my brother went with my dad. For me, that was a huge loss.
That separation, right?
He was more important to me than my own parents. He was the one who taught me how to ride a bike. He was the one who taught me how to read, everything. And so, that was really hard for me. So every summer and every holiday, every school break I went, to stay with my dad and my dad and my brother. And so my dad, he took a football coaching job, and he was like, you're going to be a cheerleader. And I was like, okay. Because I'm a daddy's girl, whatever he said. And so I joined the East Side Cowboys. It was a police athletic league team. And I was like 8 years old. I think you had to be 9. My daddy was like, tell me you 9. He went and got one of my brother's girlfriends, who was on she was on the older cheer team, to teach me everything I need to know. All the cartwheels, round-off splits, jumps. She taught me everything I know. The cheer for the tryout and everything. And so I made the C team, which was supposed to be for 9 and 10-year-olds, but I was 8. And so I will never forget, the judges were sitting there on the stands while we all had to try out, and my daddy's back there. And he's like that dad, like,
yes.
He everything. But I made it. So those years were my favorite years because I got to spend so much time with him, watching him coach. Everybody, all the boys were scared to talk to me because you coach Hank daughter. But those years were my best years. Oh, I didn't tell you, my most tumultuous years was my mother and father. My dad was abusive, always fighting my mother. So when they divorced, for me, I was happy. I was so happy because when you start hearing rumbles, you start hearing bumps.
You already know what's going on.
Oh my God. And I can just remember being so stressed out. My brother would just, tell me to come in his room, sleep in the bed with him. And we would just be sitting there. My sister was such a baby. She don't remember any of it. I remember it all. And my brother remembers way more, way more than I do. And it was just, my dad was on drugs and just crazy. And so when they separated and divorced, I was so happy. I was so happy. But then as a result of that, because he was the breadwinner, we moved every year. And so with a name like Naundra,
Yes.
every time it was time for the attendance, I would get anxiety because I'm like, please don't mess my name up. And sure enough, they would. And the kids would start laughing. I hated it. So then I'm ready to fight. You laughing at my name, you know? So
right.
Fighting all the time because they picking at my name. Oh my gosh, they just call me Nanu. For all you old people who remember Nanu, or they used to be like, Nani, get your adverbs here. Or then when Lottie Dottie came out, Lottie Dottie, I mean, just always making fun of my name and stuff. But when we finally moved into a home on the west side of Detroit, we never moved again. And I loved it. I felt like I was at home. I went to school with the same people, middle school, elementary school. I went to a different high school though. But just to know that I'm stable. I'm not the new kid anymore. Teachers remember me from year to year. They know how to say my name now.
Right.
You know, so that's what I needed in my life because it was bad. I used to fight all the time and never got kicked out though. That was so funny because I was, an honors kid. They never,
I was just gonna say you were somebody's favorite. That's okay.
I was somebody's favorite. Yep.
Yeah, and that means they knew that you didn't start it; you just finished.
That's what my mama would say. Right. She was like, "You don't start it. She don't start them." Right. But yeah, for me, that was all. Oh my gosh, just to not move again, to be stable, have a stable household, a stable environment was everything. So that was one of the things I said when I became a parent. I knew.
Staying where you go.
My kid's not gonna be moving around from year to year. No.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's good. Yep. That's good. That's amazing. So how is your relationship now with your brother? Did y'all reunite to being besties when y'all got older?
Well, he's always been my bestie. Like when I tell you, you can feel like you can do the most bad things. You can feel my brother always had him and my daddy. They were so encouraging. They gave me so much confidence that nobody could ever tell me anything about myself because my daddy and my brother said this and I already looked up to them. Right. Even like guys I would date, my brother, he would be like, no, he's not on your level. My daddy would be like, no, you're not dating nobody till you go to college. You go to college, now you're a husband in college. You can't date nobody till you go to college. And or 3 years older, that's too old. That's too old for you. I used to think 3 years older than me was so old, but my brother, he always wanted somebody who was kind of a celebrity type, or he gonna be a basketball, or he going to the NBA, or he going to the NFL. Like he liked them type of guys for me. Couldn't be just a regular college kid. It had to be somebody.
He wanted somebody that was going somewhere so that he could take you
or so he can brag. Yeah, my sister, my sister married too. But always like when I say he's so influential in my life, like yes. When he went away to the Navy when I graduated from high school, I was so sad. He was stationed in San Diego. Okay. And though I was so sad, but I like talked to him all the time. We wrote letters to each other all the time. Then he got married. So then his wife was like my sister. Like it was good. I loved it. They divorced though. They didn't stay married too long. Then they divorced, but he's silly, he's funny,
Okay.
He's still there, yeah. My younger sister, we're the oil and water.
Yeah.
My brother, I have a knot on my forehead right here. I think it's yep. So my brother said when I was little, I had to be about 2 because I'm 2 years older than her. That he was like, I was being mean to the baby, and you hit the baby. So he went like, bam, punched me right here. Yep, there you go. He punched me right there. He said because I just never wanted her. My mama said I never wanted her. Some kids are just like that. Like
you wanted to be the only girl.
Oh,
that's so bad, ain't it?
And then it didn't work, so you just switched to the boys' side.
Right.
Yeah, and so. Total opposite of me, total opposite of me. So we get along for the most part.
Y'all cordial.
Yeah, we're cordial.
That's usually how
sisters are. That's my only sister, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Naundra, when you were growing up and you were I feel like it's not even overachiever. You just knew to apply yourself really young. You were cheering with 9-10-year-olds. You said it was right. So you were cheering with the big girls. Hanging out with your brother. is this what you, especially because you lacked the stability before you first moved into, your forever home, basically. Did you
Mm-hmm.
see this for yourself? Did you know this is what I wanted to do, be a businesswoman? How did this come about? How did you transition into organic beauty?
Tyra, I wish I knew that I would do. I can only imagine where my business would be by now,
Yeah.
But in my generation growing up, it was
Mm-hmm.
graduate from high school, go to
Mm-hmm.
Go to
college,
college, get a
get
good
you
job.
a good job.
Yep.
Girl,
Yep.
you good in math. You good in math. You need to
Yeah.
major in
Yeah, accountant.
math.
You need to be an
And,
accountant.
yep, and do something. My daddy was like, you need to learn how to type. Because if you know how to type, you can always get you a secretary job.
Oh.
So, you know what I mean?
That's
Nobody looked
true.
at, what are you good at?
Yeah.
But that middle child, you are an overachiever because you want all the attention. So, I played the violin, the piano, I was cheering, I was in the choir, I danced, I did whatever I could do to get my people to come see
To
me,
love me.
do something. And then so I can get a certificate and put it on my wall and hang it up so everybody can see all my certificates, all my trophies. That's all I cared about, like getting stuff and showing
Yeah.
that I can do this, I can do that. I wish they would have talked about entrepreneurship when I was in middle school or high school. No, even high school. Take the typing class because we have a contract with General Motors and y'all can get some jobs. Now, we did have some good jobs working for GM, but So I want to say what probably inspired me to, I love learning things. And I love, people always, those kind of people who can see something and then I can do that.
The right way.
Oh man.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
I can do that. Let me learn how to do that. I'll read it. That's how I've always been. It's never been you can't do this, you can't do that. Except for I was a cheerleader all them years, and I get to Michigan State University and try out for the cheer team. I'm 5'11". They 5 feet, and so the coach was like, "You're just too tall." So it was timing. They're trying to throw me up in the air, hold me up. Mad at my daddy, like y'all didn't know I was gonna be this tall. I am the tallest woman though. It's like, y'all didn't know I was gonna be this tall up here cheerleading and dance. Can't even do nothing with that. But no, I never knew about it. Was my ex-husband who actually lit this spark in me. Entrepreneurship, because that was him. He would never work for anybody. He always entrepreneur, And so when I was in grad school, you had to write your thesis. And so I went for a master's in public administration because I was supposed to be like in city government, city council, city manager, things like that. But I had a fellowship to go to DC to be a city manager. I looked at the salary. I was like, I can't afford that pay because I got 3 kids. So, because I work, grad school, I was working and going to school at the same time. And so they had you can minor in nonprofit management. I had worked for various nonprofits, the Kellogg Foundation, other grant making organizations, and I loved the work. And so I was like, oh yeah, I can maybe stay on that track and do that. My thesis was on, it's called Hunger No More. And I actually have a nonprofit, Hunger No More, and it's a Meals on Wheels program for kids. We have it for seniors where we actually drop the food off. That I think it's just called Meals on Wheels for senior citizens, but nobody just takes food and drops it off at the children's house. The ones that are maybe too young for school that don't get the school lunches. Right. The ones living in the backwoods, parents may be on drugs or alcoholics. They're not tending to the kids. Kids are starving and they don't have a way to go and get food. So I wrote my thesis. My thesis was Hunger No More. And so they loved it. And so even in Detroit, they wanted me to start that program for funding and everything in Detroit. Oh, wow. That was in 2005. I finished in 2007, and that's when I met my ex-husband. Well, I had met him in 2005, and so we were dating long distance. He lived in North Carolina, and I was still in Michigan. So we were dating long distance for 2 years, and so after I finished the master, I was like, no, I'm relocating to Charlotte. I was like, I'll start it up there. So I do have a 501c3 Hunger No More. I just so when I moved down here, when I moved down here, he was like, you're going to start a school for me. And I was like, you're going to help me start my Hunger No More program.
Right.
And so, of course, I did. So, of course, I did. He was like, "Oh yeah, we can do that," because my mom and dad, they do a summer food program. So he was a preacher's kid. His dad is a pastor and had his own church. So they had all kinds of social service programs that they were doing at the church. And so when they told me about the summer food program, I was excited. So I did help him start his school. He was an ex-basketball player, and so he had a vision of helping boys who didn't get that scholarship to play for the school that they wanted to.
Okay.
Say you're a senior, you didn't get the GPA, you didn't get the ACT or the SAT score, you injured yourself. Your coach never even gave you playing time and you feel like I can play at the next level. Things like that, whatever the reason was. So we started a program called Queen City Preparatory Academy. And using my paralegal skills, I knew how to incorporate it and how to start the school and everything like that. And recruited boys from all over the world. First, it was just nationally, then it went internationally. People would call him and say, "Hey, I want you to prep my boy." We had colleges, coaches saying, "Hey, I got this kid I've been looking at in California. I'm gonna send him down there to you. I want you to prep him," and stuff like that. So it was a very successful program. And then I was also able in the summertime to do my Hunger No More program and feed kids. So how it worked with the food and nutrition program, you had to set it up in a location and kids had to come to you. So if you had breakfast, you would say breakfast is from 8 to 9. You can set it up in a park. You can set it up at a housing development. You can set it up, places like that, wherever you think kids are going to be
gravitating.
But they wanted the kids to sit there, eat the food. They couldn't take any home. What if they got a little baby sister at home? So it's a good program, but still not feeding all the kids. It grew so much because I did it every summer. It grew so much that we started taking businesses from Charlotte Mecklenburg schools, which was huge. It was usually just Charlotte Mecklenburg, but they said our food was so much better. It tasted better. It was so much better. Then it was like, well, can you feed our after school programs? And then it was schools who went year round. Can you feed us? We're year round. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it was awesome. But the problem with running that organization, right? It was so much. Finding good help was very, very hard. And then it was only like 10 weeks in the summer. So finding good help, I had so many deficiencies, like, because the state will pop up on you and it's just it has to be an unannounced visit. So they wanted to make sure you're actually doing what you say you're doing and stuff like that. And just, it was so stressful. I couldn't even take it because it was so simple to me. A daycare center would call and say, "Hey, I have 30 kids over here. Today, can you come, bring us 30 meals for breakfast and for lunch?" My drivers don't show up. My drivers it just so happened the state was there at that time because it said 10 o'clock I was going to be serving, this. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to start it back up on a smaller scale where I actually have real people, not just summer help, not just this, real employees, people who take pride, in what they're doing instead of, quickly hiring people and trying to train them and things like that. But it's wonderful. So yeah, that's my passion. It's still around. I just haven't done it in a while, but I said I was going to get back into it because I feel like you need that balance to give back. Yeah.
Okay. And then with you, starting the nonprofit, is that how you came about with Organik? How did that all come into place?
So in 2000 and when I get pregnant, 2008, right? So I had my relaxer still, down here in Charlotte. It's so hot, I was just like, it's so hot. I don't do nothing but keep my hair in a ponytail. I think I'm gonna go natural because the old folks used to always say, "You're not supposed to put no relaxer in your hair. You pregnant. You're not supposed to, put
right."
I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and try because people were starting to go natural. So I grew the relaxer out, but then you're like, okay, now what? What am I supposed to do this hair now? Like, so I'm researching, trying to see, okay, what do I do with this hair? So that's when I found the website where all of these natural products for our hair was on that website, but you couldn't find it stuff in the stores. Nope. And so I'm ordering. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make a naturally curly beauty supply where it's gonna be everything off this website and it's gonna be physically right here in the store. And so I incorporated naturally curly beauty because I had the vision of just being like a beauty supply, a distributor. I have all these brands, I have all these labels here. People, you can just walk on in. You don't have to worry about ordering online and get your stuff right here. And so that's where organic beauty came from. But then I started making shea butter for my daughter because I noticed when she was around 6 or 7 months old, she had eczema. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know anything. He took her to the doctor, like, what is this rash? And he said, that's eczema. Well, how do you treat it? Oh, we have this topical steroid ointment. I'm like, no steroids.
Yeah, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't. And it has long-term effects.
And it has long-term effects. That's what I looked up and I saw it.
Yep. My son's sister is going through that right now. It's like steroid withdrawal. Your skin will start shedding and everything.
Yes. So I Googled like natural ways to take care or manage eczema, shea butter, something really thick. You need a really thick butter, really thick oil. They were like shea butter. So local distributor here, he gets everything. And you name it, he got all kind of oils, butters, essential oils, everything. That's where I locally get all of my products, Third Phase oils. Shout out. Okay. So I just started, making it. And I started, I don't like the grittiness, just looking, how do you get it smooth? Looking up, found recipes on YouTube on how to whip it up. And so I will put it on her skin. Sure enough, it was gone. Didn't come back up. No more problems or anything like that. And so then, looking on YouTube, some of those, the natural hair people that started off, early, they were using shea butter for their twists. So I started, her hair twisting it and they'd be so pretty, shiny twists and curls and stuff. And then other people would see her like, what are you using on her twists? They're so pretty, look so juicy. And I was like, just shea butter. I was like, I wash and condition it and I put shea butter in it. And so they were like, well, can you make me some? I was like, yeah, I can do that. So it started off with me just making the whipped shea butter for family, friends, or whomever asked. I wasn't even selling it. I would just make it up and I give it to them. And then that's how it first started, 2009 when she was born, 2010. Okay. By 2012 is when I was actually going to get a retail storefront. My husband at the time, he knew that's what I wanted because I was like, I'm doing everything out of the house. I had all these brands in our garage, doing everything out the house. And so I found a storefront. Found a local contractor who's going to build it out. He had started painting it and putting in flooring and everything. And I just needed to order my signage and pay the lease, the deposit, first and last month's, rent and deposit, phone lines, internet. I had it all. I was so excited. So, so we, tell my husband, because, we're making a lot of money with this, with our summer food and with the basketball program and everything. And so, okay, it's time to start, I got to give the landlord the deposit for the space. Wrote me out a check. I gave it to the landlord. A couple of days later, the landlord says, that check bounced. And I say, okay. So I go back to my ex-husband. He's like, couldn't be. He's like, tell him, run it again. Run it again. The check bounced. And so I was like, are you telling me that we don't have the money for the lease for the person for the business? And so he was like, it's more money coming in and more money coming in or whatever. And I just was like, nope, I'm not going into business like that. I thought we were somewhere that we should
establish, right?
Where we can have something on the side so I can have this. I don't want to use what we have while we take these boys,
right?
And so my little dream fizzled out and it died. And but I still kept all of my contacts. So there was a local person, a local girl here who made the best soaps. I loved her soaps. And I was actually selling her soaps, on Naturally Curly Beauty Supply website. It started growing so much, probably just because of marketing. I wasn't doing anything special. I was just, I had Instagram, I had Facebook, and I was just marketing. And so her soap orders were getting so like we were in like a 50% off wholesale dealership. She would, charge me 50% of her retail price or whatever. So started getting lots of soap orders. And so she would say, she got to a point where she's like, where are you getting all these orders? Where are they coming from? Or, you know, she was falling a few weeks behind on, you know, providing me with the soap so that I can send it to my customers. Just service was getting bad, and her attitude was kind of getting funny acting, and I couldn't understand it because you're making money,
right?
and I'm making money, and this is awesome. I even think one time somebody, one of the customers from Black Girls Run had said, Naundra, oh girl, your soaps are so good. She thought that I was claiming I made her soaps. And she felt some kind of way about that too. And I had to tell my customer, no, I sell them. I don't make them. You know, but they, like I'm trying to build her brand. And so my son was like, Mom, you can make your own soap. And he showed me a YouTube video. And that's how I started. I started making soap. I was still selling all the hair care brands and things that I had. And then one of my girlfriends, who's like just in the know here in Charlotte, she invited me to a pop-up. She said, you should come to this pop-up and sell stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was at a, you know, what do you call it? Like the community room inside of an apartment complex, the community room there, you know, all the attendants be
conference rooms they have. Okay.
Yeah. And so it was in that kind of location. And so, yes, I sold out. Hair stuff, soap, shea butter. I sold out. So that lit a spark. And I want to say that was 2013. Yep, 2013 was my very first market, and I was still under the name Naturally Curly Beauty.
Okay.
So when I started, I think I was going, but customers would come up and they would say, well, do you make hair care products? Do you make this? Do you make that? And I would say, no, but I can. You know, so most of my product line came from my customers giving me ideas. Oh, I really love lavender and lemongrass. Or my one customer, I never forget, she was like, I love patchouli. And I was like, oh, it smells bad. But I was like, let me find
something that's for her, but other people, right?
Yes, people would come and so I would make it. And I said, well, let me see how it does at the next pop-up I do. And if people buy it, then I'm going to add it to my line. And that's how it just grew and grew. I stopped with being a distributor because I said, it's changing now. It's not naturally curly because people like the skincare part of you know, the things that I'm doing. And so I sat around for a name and I was like, Organic Beauty. That would be cute because I wanted to focus on organic products and supplies and that's where the name came from. And I switched the name from Naturally Curly Beauty to Organic Beauty and just started making soap and lotion and body butter and sugar scrub and facial care stuff. And I do have a hair and scalp oil.
I noticed the skin as soon as you got on.
Skin is glowing, right?
I hear that all the time because, oh my God, I had acne. I had cystic acne. It was so bad all my life. And it's hereditary because my mother's sisters, one of her sisters had really bad cystic acne. And so my doctor took me off of birth control in 2016 because I had a pulmonary embolism.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
The pulmonary embolism, my doctor said it had to come from all the stress that I was going through and anger and pain and hurt because I was going through a divorce in 2016. So he says, you know, he cannot medically say that that's what it was, but he knew I hadn't hurt myself. I hadn't had a broken leg. I hadn't had any surgeries. I didn't have anything, you know, that would have caused this pulmonary embolism. But he's like, stress can do wonders on your body.
Right.
And yeah. And so took me, I'm not like, no, because that's what I use to control my acne. Like, what am I going to do? So I started researching again. It's, oh my gosh, I tell people all the time, if you don't have to use birth control, do not, because your body goes through this detox. And I felt like everything unnatural was coming out through my pores because of years and years and years of birth control pills. And so, African Black soap. I don't make, that's the one thing I don't make, because I like people from the motherland to make it. And I'm not even going to try to do that.
Yeah.
All that smoke, all that fire, I see blue. I said, no,
Right.
get it straight from y'all. And so African black soap, and then it was like lemon and honey and the clay mask,
Right.
and water. And
I was gonna say yes. And one thing about organic beauty is it is a fitting name because a lot of these products, if you are not looking, it is not organic. There's a lot of alcohol and fragrance.
A lot of stuff added to it. Yeah.
Like unnecessary. I don't even know why, but
that's
hey.
and I used to always say that if you cannot read the ingredients on your labels, then you shouldn't be putting it on your skin. And then I would always post like, do you know it only takes 26 seconds for whatever you put on your skin to sink into your bloodstream?
Wow.
So you're putting all this stuff in, you wondering where are these fibroids and all these other issues and things coming from, because it's in your skin. And then people don't understand, like, what you put on your skin is just as important as what you put inside your body, because this is an organ. So it needs to shed skin, and the pores need to be open. Yeah.
That's a great point that you made, because
that's a good thing. Go ahead, Tyler. Yeah.
Sorry. Just growing up, I was always in like some medical class, and one of the top questions that we asked, like, what's the biggest organ? And you always think like my brain, my heart, it's your skin. And I think that it goes over our head because it goes through so much, but like we got to take care of it just like we take care of everything else.
Yes, it's so important. And shipping my products, especially my shea butters. I am in a warm climate in North Carolina, so I'm not going to put waxes or other things in my body butter just so they can ship and withstand the heat. It's like it's gonna melt. They're like, but what if I do overnight? Ma'am, it's gonna be on somebody's mail truck. Unless that mail truck is air conditioned and they hand it to you and it's not sitting on your porch in Houston, Texas.
Right.
It's gonna melt, So I have so many, trial and error with the customers, putting disclaimers up like, listen, it's natural. I am not going to put stuff in here just to satisfy that. Right. Who wants to put wax on your skin? So,
and once you use the natural stuff, you feel like you're cheating yourself when you use that stuff. So the people who don't know yet, they haven't switched to the organic.
And I try to tell them, remember how when we all want to go natural and your scalp and your hair goes through this detox. Like some people's scalps were super itchy, because we're not putting those chemicals in there now, and your scalp is like, what's going on? But you give it 6 months, right? And they're like, give it 6 months, your curls are going to be popping, your scalp is going to be fine. It's the same thing when you switch to natural products. Like people, they'll buy a bar of soap and be like, my skin was dry as soon as I got out the shower or whatever. I was like, okay, but keep trying it, keep using it.
Everything takes time.
Anything takes time. Keep using, exfoliate, get that, sugar scrub first, and keep on. You will see your skin is just gonna be shiny. People will be like, oh my gosh, your skin. So, and it's so funny because even to this day, people will be like, because I'll be 52 in next Saturday. So people are like, girl, what you using? And I say, I make skincare. I have a cleanser, a toner, and a serum to put on your face. I'm telling you, it stops the wrinkles, it stops the dark circles, it stops everything.
I need that.
I need it for the dark circles. Absolutely.
I do this all the time. And my dad has the permanent line. So I'm like, you can't do that, T. That's gonna be you in a cup. So I definitely need to tighten this up in here.
Yes, and people are saying, "Oh, it's hereditary," but could it be hereditary because they didn't do nothing about it either?
I'm like, nope. I see it coming. Nope, because my dad was in his 20s doing this all the time, and now it won't go away.
Yes. So. I'm a proponent of it. I love it. I'm never gonna stop making it. And then think about it. You make your own soap. The World of Worlds come at the end. Walking Dead come. I still make my own soap. Yeah,
no, you're right. Bottles of soap are $10. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is,
Yes.
and it's not organic.
It's
That
not
part.
no.
But you know what, Naundra? This is a little off topic a little bit, but it's something that you said and it really stood out to me. And I do the motivational speaking thing, so I always try to find like the deeper meaning and the good behind something. And you said you weren't ashamed to say you got into entrepreneurship because of your ex-husband. And I felt like that just strikes something in me because I was like, you know what? You don't meet anyone on accident and you don't question, the season that they were there and what they were supposed to teach you. You know what I mean? And you didn't have any hate in your heart when you said that. You can tell, you were very grateful and it just shows and I'm just so glad that you not only got your children out of it, but you kind of like you lived a whole new
Elevated,
life.
right.
Yeah, like you started your own new journey. He probably would have been in the way. Like I'm so happy for
Yeah.
you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Tyra. And just to go along with what you said, my pastor said the same thing. He said, how many of you are not from Charlotte? So we all raised our hands. He was like,
Wow.
he told his story, the same thing. He was not from Charlotte. He's like, you were brought here not because of the person who you think you're here for. You were brought here for a totally different reason. He said the same thing. And it was so touching because, you going through that divorce, you're like, I could have stayed in Detroit. Well, I moved out here if I wanted.
Right.
So he was like, no, you were brought here for a whole other reason than what you think you were brought here for. Yep. And I am very appreciative of him showing me, no, you can be your own business. You can, create your own time, your own hours and make your own money. And you always will have that skill,
Yeah.
Right.
He did. He showed me that.
That is awesome. It's crazy. Yeah, a lot of people inspired me that aren't really in my life anymore. And I had to learn not to question it, but just to take like what they brought, to my life. And some of it was courage, new ideas, So
yeah. And it's
when you
funny
look at it
how,
like that,
that path changed, right? I just wanted to be a distributor. I just wanted to be like, here go beauty supplies right here, Black owned beauty supply store. But it was like, nope, you're a creator. You're gonna make things.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am grateful.
So what struggles have you faced, being a business owner on your own? Making the products.
Money. As my girlfriend says, who's a poet, I'm trying to have my part-time job be my full-time job.
Come on.
Like,
yes.
Me too. I received
that. Yes. That is what I want. And help, finding. So for me, finding someone who I can actually teach how to make the soap, how to make the products, and to actually, be willing to come in and actually help. My own kids don't even help. I have to, my youngest daughter, I have to, complain a little and she'll do it. Like right now, like when I'm cutting my soaps, they come in a big loaf. And so you end up with like a little piece on the end. Yeah. So on the ends, I'm like, I'm not throwing the ends away. I'm gonna do something with them. So I started like giving them as free samples, and for every order you get a free sample, right? So now I have an idea of taking all the samples and putting them in a box. So you have a collection of the different samples.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, right? Because people want free samples, So I have her now wrapping. She shrink wraps the soap, put the labels on them and she's doing that now. So I'm thankful that she's doing it, and like I'm getting ready to move into another store who wants to carry my products. I think we open on August 26th on my birthday. So I have to buy my own retail shelving and things like that. So she told my daughter to paint it white. No, I didn't even tell her. I was like, I'm gonna have to paint this white. And I just haven't gotten around to it because I'm such a procrastinator. I was probably gonna start painting it on Saturday, and it's gonna be wet and can't put the stuff on the shelf. So I go into the garage the other day. She painted it without me asking or anything.
That's awesome. That was
Let me go online and send you a paycheck. But yes, so I can't say, for me, definitely the money, the foot traffic to the website.
Okay.
I don't care about followers. That don't necessarily lead to a sale. I feel like Google search engine optimization and SEO optimization, just driving traffic to the website, I think leads to orders. And that's where I'm lacking.
Okay. Are you promoting? Do you have a social media promoter?
Nope. And that's my problem. See, that's the problem.
Okay.
I don't do I don't do any marketing.
That's where your sales are going to come from, marketing. As far as help, I could suggest maybe going to like a career link thing at like people that's maybe wanting to high school kids or even people that's in college. And you can actually, you know, teach them how to do it and how to have their own business, and they can actually start as an intern helping you.
I like that. I didn't think about internship. I tried to one time have a soap making class. I think it was a disaster. It was, I had about 5 people. And because soap making, because I make my soaps using what's called the cold process soap. So it's like for scratch if you're making a cake. You know, you can go buy Duncan Hines and do it. That's called hot process soap.
Okay.
Cold process is like from scratch.
Okay.
And just monitoring them, because everything is all about temperatures, and it was so bad. And I was stressed out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, hurry up, pour it into the mold before it gets too hard. Hurry up. And so I kept thinking, like, how can I do it again? I get so many requests on a soap making class, and it would be very profitable. I would love to do it. I don't know how to do it with a class. You know, you have to at least
maybe do a teaching first before y'all actually go hands-on. Maybe do a paperwork technique. This is the steps that we're going to do. And then when we actually do the process, they'll already have a visual in their head of this is what you need to do. This is where the temperature needs to be. This is how it happens. So that will actually, you know, help with the process of when you're going hands-on, because they already have the visual, like the paper learning, basically.
And you're so right, Shanira. Here's the problem. I don't know if it's because I'm a Virgo. I don't know what the problem is. I'll do videos, and then I hate them. And I'm like, I'm not posting this. I'm not posting it.
Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, man. Yeah. Were you the only instructor in the, like, when you were teaching how to make the soaps?
That might be hard too. You're the only instructor. You can't be
that's a lot.
every place at once.
No, that I would be stressed too.
Have someone maybe have a person that's hands-on with each person so that everything's leveled out properly.
That's what it is. It's the temperatures, like you said. I mean, that's the key. But you can't have people who don't even know how to read a thermometer. That's true. And then it was, I hope none of them are watching. But now one of my business partners, she owns a candle shop. And so she would put on events, you know, she would do candle making, and then I would do bath bomb making. Oh, bath bombs was successful. That was successful. That's so you can't really mess that up. Make that bath, you can't mess it up. So it was nice. So the women,
a lot of it's trial and error.
Yes. Right.
And that was we used to do those events like every 2 years. I mean, like twice a year, but we kind of stopped, but we should have kept, because it was like a girls' night out. I think she would call it like a night out thing. So we had wine and food, and they can make their candles, they can make their bath bombs. It was so nice. So that was fun to do, but I definitely need help. I try to get my son, you know, these young kids who's technologically savvy, you know, TikToking and all that stuff, and to help me, you know, if you don't like the number of files I have, then why don't you help me?
Right.
You know?
I agree. Well, if we wanted to purchase the soap and stuff, what website or where can we find you?
Right.
Sure. So you can go to my website, www.organicbeautyskin, and organic is spelled with a K at the end. Organicbeautyskin.com. In Charlotte, here locally, I am at the Charlotte Douglas International Airport at the Charlotte Supply Company. Yeah, they keep me busy. And
I did not know that.
Yes,
that's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
Right.
That's a big deal. So every time I go to the airport, I go in and check it. Like, let me see how my soap's looking over here. I am at Happy Cat Candles and Gifts. She's located inside the North Lake Mall here in Charlotte. She's opening up a new location in Fort Mill, South Carolina, on August 26th. I'll be there. Okay. I am at the Brown Sugar Collab, which is, and Happy Cat Candles is the same. These two people and Brown Sugar Collab, they have the same concept. They have only handmade items and from individual. I don't want to say it's all from black-owned companies, but the majority of us are the black-owned artisans and things that you can that we make in their stores. Brown Sugar Collab is the same. She's located in Uptown Charlotte. Now she has a very premier location, selling the same thing, just selling other people's products that are handmade. Where else am I? I'm on Fair Wholesale. So Fair is say for instance you have a boutique and you want to provide some soaps and body butters. You'll go to Fair and for wholesale, and you can feature my products in your store. So I'm on Amazon. Organic Beauty is on Amazon, and I think that's it. Yeah.
No, Painted yourself, girl.
Painted Tree. I'm sorry. So Painted Tree is the same concept, but it's huge. So Painted Tree is national. It's almost in every state. They take over big stores like Target or TJ Maxx. Like it's huge like that. And you come in and you'll see all these products that are handmade by vendors, and we have our own booth, and it's like a pop-up, but it's a permanent pop-up. Okay. Wonderful. So yeah, Painted Tree in Matthews. I'm also there.
So girl, you got a name for yourself. You got to do like little promotions to attract more people.
I'm growing.
Refer someone to this, or do monthly subscriptions. We'll talk.
Yes.
We'll talk.
Right.
Because I'll start throwing a whole bunch of stuff out. Yeah, we'll talk.
I never say no. I get an invite. Like there's one coming in January. I get yes, I will be ready. Yes, I will be ready. Yes, I can. So yes, I am growing. So it looks like I am getting there.
Yes.
Getting to the point to where it's growing.
Okay.
Well,
we're going to hit a quick commercial before we go into the last question of the hour.
Have you recently started a business? Maybe looking to get more exposure? Are you interested in taking your business to the next level? Let Uncommon Women podcast further assist you with our business and brand promoting packages. For more information, please email us at uncommonwomenpodcast.com or reach us directly on one of our social media platforms so we can further assist you. And always remember, stay uncommon.
All right. Let's check here and see if we have any questions or comments from our viewers. Okay, nope. Go ahead, Tyra.
Well, I know when we talked in the green room, you said you didn't have much, but I can say something for you if you don't have anything. But dig deep. Besides everything that we talked about, what makes you uncommon? And you can't pick your name.
Okay. I think what makes me uncommon is I am really a well-rounded woman. I've experienced almost everything that you can possibly experience in living. I grew up with not much. Went through lived in a very dysfunctional family. I've gone through a divorce. Girl next door type of person, though. This personality that you would never know where I came from or what I was going through. Grew up in the church. As a kid, I just can remember praying as a kid. On my knees, praying, because I probably saw on TV you're supposed to do that or something.
Yeah.
I think I'm uncommon because I feel there's nothing that I haven't experienced. There's nothing that I cannot advise any other woman on. I can advise people on children and family and marriage, business, corporation, law, real estate. I've kind of done. I even worked for a hospice company. I know a little healthcare law. I'm kind of just a blend of, I think, truly every woman, every experience. And and still willing to learn and still willing to expand and still willing to grow. I'm never going to be that person that's left behind, especially with technology or with any type of resources. I'm a go-getter, and then I like to chill out. I like to have fun, and I like to eat, and I like to cook, and I kind of like to do everything. So, people, Shanira, I met Shanira, and we clicked just like that. And I feel like I can hang out with all types of group. I can fit in any environment and still while maintaining my own identity, but I can still, not many people have those skills. So I
like that last one.
Yes.
Because you got to maintain your own identity.
She's the plug. That's what that comes down to.
Yes.
And if you don't know it, she'll find out. There we go.
Yes.
That is true. So honestly, stay tuned with her because she might have something new going on next year, along with your organic skincare. But I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Naundra, for sharing your testimony, making us laugh, and inspiring us all. Stay tuned with Uncommon Woman every Thursday. We have the best interviews that you ever saw. And we also have some available spots for the next 2 months. So if you guys know anyone, Naundra, if you know anyone, I know you have some friends, please send them our way, uncommonwoman@gmail.com. We're also on Instagram where you can see me doing Motivational Mondays. And we have some new things in the works, so please follow us on IG. We're going to get real active, and we're going to interact with the crowd. We want to know what you guys feel. We're going to spice it up. And then last but not least, we also have a self-love seminar that I will be speaking at first in November, the first weekend before Thanksgiving. So let's get some self-love going before we spend time with our family. And, just give somebody, you got to love on yourself before you can love on others. So love on yourself first and then go be around your loved ones and give them all the love that you got to give left. Okay. And also, as you saw, we had our first commercial break. I think for me, that was my first one. So we're also promoting businesses. So if you guys know anybody who wants their business promoted, we will do that. Also, with transitioning to television, this will be a great marketing strategy, Naundra, to get yourself out there and get people knowing what you got going on. So please tap in with us. We got a lot going on, but it's all good for you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Stay uncommon.
Stay uncommon.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you've been shacking up with us for a while and haven't subscribed to our channel, what are you waiting for? Please like and subscribe to Uncommon Woman so you won't miss another episode. And remember, don't let anything or anyone affect your peace. Good vibes and stay uncommon.